when food is involved, a lot of people to show up. But anyway,
That's nothing new, is it?
but anyway, the catch is to encourage these children to stay in school, get in service, do something instead of just walking our street. We want them back in Hazlehurst, but we want them to make something of their lives. So they're letting them see all of those older soldiers and the people from Waycross and Douglas and all, and they're getting it fixed up pretty nice. And Mr. Malley said, if you want to have some words to say, you can. They put you on program. But anyway, no matter what children or young people or adults, please, soldiers or whatever, come over and be with us. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, anything else?
Reminder to the council tomorrow, groundbreaking service at the hospital for the new psychiatric ward at 11:30 at the hospital.
In the front, or where are we meeting at?
There's the backside.
They did not tell me.
Well, yeah, I can see
I can
that.
see where they're doing all
Yeah.
that. I was just making sure, I don't want to,
Also,
But it's not that far to walk around the front if you need to.
well, I walk across the road.
also a reminder, you'll see at the bottom of your agenda, we have a joint meeting with the Hospital Authority Board on February 26th at 6 o'clock. They would like for the whole council to be in attendance that day. So those are the two things that I have.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, it's the chamber dinner is going to be out at.
Yes.
It's going to be at Cotton
Cotton
Patch.
Patch, the
Extreme.
22nd.
It'll be the 22nd at 6:30. That'll be the chamber dinner. I think they've been having it normally at the First Baptist Church, haven't
Yes, sir.
they? But like I
Yes,
said, it's
sir.
going to be at Cotton Patch Extreme at 6:30.
And I have the tickets for the members of the council that will be going. You'll get those before you get ready to attend. Those are in my office.
I think that's gonna be real nice. Who was it? The bank, Renaissance Bank, had a function out there here a few months ago.
It was very nice.
And it was very nice. They've got a lot of room, and the people have got a right nice facility for this type of thing out there, so I think that's good. Anything else, council?
I have one other thing. From the size of this courtware system, it would help us greatly at the police department. But it's like for next work session, I think something that would possibly help you clarify a lot of problems, like if for next work session, you can ask the guy for him to come in and to bring other people with cities about our size that has this program with it and ask them directly, how do you use it? How does it work? So that way, I think that would also help clarify a lot of questions to y'all, to bring other people in that already have this system in place. And they can tell you, this is how we run it, this is how we use it, this is what it is in place.
Good suggestion, Officer Nelms. Very good. We'll try to do that. Okay, anything else, gentlemen? Folks, I know everybody and very acquainted with everybody but the two of y'all. Again, glad you're here. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. We've tried to behave. We usually do.
As long as we're from Denton, and that's okay.
Oh, you're from Denton?
Is that okay that we snuck in and used them?
Pardon?
We snuck in from Denton.
Well, that's fine. Denton is a part of our world.
That's what I
The county commissioner, and we love the county commissioners too. In fact, we're working jointly on some projects now, which is good. But sometimes they feel like Hazlehurst is not in Chesapeake County.
Oh.
I don't know whether they feel that way about Denton or not, but y'all tell them what I said. I don't mind at all. Okay, but glad y'all came. Any particular thing that you're interested in?
Want to get involved in the city,
Yeah.
and you know what's going on, and do what we can to improve it.
Well, that's good. I wish more people would do what you've done.
Yes.
Are you on city council or?
No, I am helping right now with the Chamber of Commerce, doing all the bookkeeping now.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, good. Well, we're delighted to have you.
Yeah.
And if we can help you, by the way.
And he's a brand new bus driver for Jeff Davis Schools.
Okay.
All right.
So I was more interested in the roundabouts, but
But you
that's
will.
all done, Dave. I don't know how they're gonna work, but that's okay.
Well, apparently,
Round, round.
let me tell you, it sounds like you may be a little bit on the negative side, but let me assure you of something. You're not by yourself. You've got plenty of friends. So it's not a all one-way situation on that.
No, I just thought, is it to replace the police so that they're not out there directing traffic? Or, because you're still gonna have to have the police there. Now you're gonna put 2 more police on instead of taking them Okay.
I don't think so.
Think about
It's
that.
designed to eliminate us being there.
Well,
Aw.
that's what I mean, it's,
Now, let me
that's what they're
assure,
running.
let me assure you that that's not the case. Now, we make mistakes before, we may make some now, but the intention is to stop them from having to be out there.
Well, that's what I mean, and I'm like, I just like being a driver, it's a whole different view than just sitting at a corner watching people go by. It's, you know, you got
And
45
y'all,
buses going around that circle, it's gonna be pretty rough.
we're way within our time limit of, we're fixing to leave shortly too, and we don't need to be here, we don't need to. But let me, I want to share something with you personally. I don't do this a lot of times, but then sometimes I do. I just had the good fortune to spend about 3 weeks traveling in Athens, Greece, all over Greece, up to, and then back around to Rome, Italy, and places in Rome. And I, over there, I hired a lot of taxi drivers. And I wrote, and I've got in my desk drawer in there 500 pictures that I took while I was over there. And I'm gonna tell you something, Officer Neville, and I want you to be sure you hear this. Not your fault, but I want you to hear it. I have never been so impressed with the courtesy of traffic, and if somebody was coming walking up here, 4 or 5 lanes of traffic, I don't know how they all saw that.
Yeah.
Everyone stops,
That's
this one goes by, or what, a traffic light. It beat all for courtesy in driving. The little old streets are narrow as can be. They don't have any ditches and right-of-ways, they've just got room for the road. If they see somebody, well, I've just came back, particularly being involved in the city of Hazlehurst and all the traffic problems we got. That beat all for courteous people driving I've ever seen in my life. Not only in Greece, but also in Rome. It was a real eye-opener. Mr. Johnson?
Let's go.
Mr. Johnson make a motion. We adjourn, and second by Mr. Bloodworth. All in favor say aye. Aye. Y'all, thanks for coming. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
I see how people do this, come on. And it's like, I just told you, it helps.
Slow on.
1 minute.
Remember now, Mr. Ryan, who's in trouble.
Okay. Good. You're a good man. Oh, yeah, I know that, yeah. Yeah. We're 30 seconds. This is a,
It's in the first packet. This one's that I, that you got.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, the hour has arrived. You got your machine on. I call this meeting to order. Mr. Johnson, I'm going to ask you if you will give us our invocation.
If you all will, I would like for all of us to stand. And due to the fact that we had a tragedy in Florida, we know that things are happening, and our hearts go out to those people down there. And for a moment, silent prayer for the school in Florida. A moment. Amen.
Let's be seated after you go ahead.
That's it.
That's all the invocation. Amen. All right, brother, thank you. That was certainly a good gesture. Thank you very much. By the way, let's remain, sorry, I didn't realize what Mr. Johnson did. Let's stand back up and pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any additions, corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, I entertain a motion that we approve the agenda as printed.
May I have a motion?
Mr. Griffin has made a motion that we approve the agenda, and it's seconded by Mr. Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is set. Okay, the first is Attorney Smith, you're on.
We have what is known as a private probation company, Middle Georgia Probation, and I'd say 99% of municipalities in the state of Georgia now do private probation, which means in effect that when someone is placed on probation by the court, the probation fee is assessed through this company, and they manage probation. It does not cost the city anything. There's been a lot of controversy in the past couple of years over private probation, and the legislature has really tightened up on what they can and cannot do in terms of charges and reporting they have to make because of certain abuses, not within our system. I've never seen that, but in other systems statewide. In any event, they have a contract that has to be approved each year, and this is the new contract. It doesn't cost the city anything. It just follows the statute of what the probation company is required to do. But I have to approve it as judge, but y'all have to approve it as city council for me to approve it. And I request that we approve this so we can continue with the probation company.
Okay, gentlemen, the contract, is this a renewable annually, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that, yeah. The contract is, Inufobia, I've got it right here. Have y'all looked it over? Any questions, discussions, or anything about it? Okay, let me mention a thing or two. For those of you that may not know, not only as the judge says, these folks have been handling this for some time. It's a private entity, and because of the problems, and not necessarily problems, but development of issues and first one thing and another, the legislature has been involved, and they're required to come up with a contract. And this contract is pretty extensive. I forget how many pages it is. I believe it's the little page here, so we're talking about 8 or 9 pages. And but also we've recently with them, we have such a good relationship with them that they rent our building over here. And just to be completely open and fair with you, it's your business. They pay us $650 a month for their building that they have right here. So, and they're providing a good service, and as the judge said, as far as I know, doing a good job. For information, I believe the flat fee, once the judge here, and of course our attorney is also the municipal court judge, once he assigns them to the probationer, they get $40 per month per probationer.
Actually, $44.
Well, they actually get a little more.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, they get a little bit more. They also, when they have to go in for drug testing and alcohol and various things, they get an additional fee for that they can do in-house. So they can go up to, as I read the contract, and I'm not the attorney, I don't have any problem with it, but just so that you know, it doesn't cost us anything. They administer the whole thing. The violator pays the bill, and the way they're compensated is that the probationer has to pay this $40 plus when he's tested for alcohol or drugs, and the other $4 that the judges mentioned, and there's another $9. No, they don't get the $9. They get the drug testing, and there's another fee or two that they get in there. But at any rate, you were trying to something that you want to say there? Anything that you'd like to add about it?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any problem with it at all, and I think they're offering a good service and running a good. I've got to know the people pretty well, and I think they're a good group.
I will point out that when that fee is assessed on the fine, the money that is owed the city comes first before the probation fee is collected. So we're not giving up any of the fine. It doesn't cost us anything. And there's also a limit on how much fine they can charge as to how many months if somebody gets behind. That was what the problem originated that the legislature got into. People have a problem paying the probation fee and all the other part of the fine, so the legislature put a limit on how far in arrears they can go, and then they have to suspend the fine, but suspend their fees, but they have to continue doing the service, which is really a good thing.
Well, what they were doing, and I'm not saying that ours was involved, but in some cases, according to what I read in the, when they were dealing with it in the legislature, sometimes if they owed a $40 fine and they didn't pay it, then they owed a $75 fine
Exactly.
with the being late, not being able to make it. And the people that were destitute, they were putting them in an impossible situation. But anyway, we don't think we have that here. Contracts before you, gentlemen. I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Middle Georgia probation contract.
Motion is made that we approve the contract that you got before you. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Tell Middle Georgia they've got a new contract. And it is an annual contract, I believe. I'll sign it and you'll sign it. All right. The courtware, Stoller, I believe I'm gonna let you bring us up to date on what's happened this week on that. Can you do that?
Let's see, and now Ms. Furnace had told me I didn't have to speak unless y'all had questions.
Well, you don't have to. If you want to, you sit down and I'll instruct you, sit down and I'll see that you're not disturbed in any way.
What do you want to know, Mr. Mayor? I'll try to answer.
Well, I asked him to come up with some, I thought he was gonna be here too, I asked him some questions to try to answer for us tonight.
I think he pretty well answered that within the letter that you received.
Yeah, all right, well, I've read that. I don't think that's conclusive, but at any rate. Okay, just stay right there for a minute. Gentlemen, we've got this report before us. Got any comments about it?
Before we get into that to the board, I needed to ask a question that if these fines and things we don't come up with, have we looked into the budget to make sure that we can swing all of this right now, that we can do it? Are we looking to approve that tonight?
Well, don't know, it's up to y'all. Y'all the boss. I'm just a member of the team.
I'm just asking.
You're the police commissioner, John, I'm gonna take him.
John?
I think maybe we need to look at it a little more,
Okay.
in depth and decide
That's
how we need to do it. I think we need it,
yes.
but I think we need to talk about it.
According to what I'm looking at, we're subject to be responsible for some of their fee that we don't collect.
Yeah.
And that could be a problem, and I think you've seen that as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, and honey, I'm sorry I missed you. I didn't mean to embarrass you or put you on the spot. I knew you're so smart that you could handle anything that I asked you for. That's good, okay. Gentlemen, what else? You want to make a motion that we...
Yeah, I make a motion that we table this matter for further discussion.
All right, is there a second to the man's motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote to table the matter to a future date. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You're going to be drug out for a while. Tell the chief, relay the message to the chief.
Okay, and Mr. Bragg did say if y'all had any questions that he would come back to the city council meetings if y'all had any questions for him. So
Okay.
y'all just let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. On the next two items, we discussed this at length, work session Monday night. I put a motion before the council that we retain and sign a contract with ALGA in Alma, Ms. Sarah Davis and Field for the grant writer and administrator for the CDBG for the coming year. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bloodworth. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Also, in relation to our discussion at work session Monday night, I make a motion that we retain Turnip Seed Engineering to be the engineering firm for the CDBG for the coming year. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bloodworth. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to take and, put it out there. I know, you want to take and go with Turnip Green or whatever, just understand that. We're not going to sit here and mince words about it or whatever it is. We've had Hofstadter and Associates for the last 15 years as far as to take and do our engineering for CDGB, first one thing and then the other over the last several years, and we've been very successful with them as our engineers taking and getting these grants, and in the past, we've had no issues with them at all, and I understand, like I said, that there's just a difference of opinion between you and Carl and what you think needs to be done. And I'm just putting that out there for conversation also. We took and had good results out of them. We don't know what we're going to get from Turnip Green. We don't have a clue what we're going to get from Turnip Green. We're going into an uncharted territory or whatever else. I mean, granted, there's nothing wrong with change if it's for the better, but change for the lack of change is not good. Another thing with the CDGB and whatever else, it's not gonna hurt us to apply for it and everything regardless. And I think y'all all know that regardless whether we get it or not, and it's not gonna hurt us if we apply for it and get it and can't use it and everything because we can't come up with a match. But, I mean, and that's another thing too. I don't think, regardless of who we put in there, we're gonna be able to come up with a match for it. That's just what I see, unless something drastically changes. But I spoke my piece about it, and we'll continue.
Thank you. Well, I don't want to be argumentative with you at all, but of course, I do have a different opinion. I think a lot of Carl. I think Carl Hofstadter is an excellent our engineer that's been here for approximately 30 years. I think he is a very qualified engineer. But he stood there about a year or two ago after he'd been to Brunswick, and we were in trouble with the EPD, and said that it was mandatory, and he brought word from the EPD people that we must immediately go into a $2.5 million improvement program at the treatment plant, that we needed to vote it on that night somehow, whether we might struggle or y'all or how, we didn't do it. But at any rate, the very thing that he presented to us as a council, $2.5 million at that treatment plant, we've accomplished for $300,000. All right, on another situation, there's a bad drainage problem out in the south end of town out here. And Carl, the engineer, very capable, what he was talking about was good. Build a big retention pond for all that water to run into and then pump it out. I, being as land surveyor, went out and found that about 2,500 feet out beyond Jimmy Ryle's house, we had a little over 4 foot of fall. I said, Carl, you've got 4 feet of fall and 2,500 feet. That can gravity flow. We don't need to do all that expense. Bang, if you'll show it to me, you're right. That'll work. To make a long story short, with the, I don't think it's even a Mercedes-Benz or some kind of elaborate car that Carl seems to always want to ride in. We occasionally might need to ride in a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Buick or something, and we don't need to ride in these fancy cars in Hazlehurst. And I found it necessary to do a little shopping, and I think we're going to save a tremendous amount of money. Is there any further discussion?
Well, just to let you know, and for the record too, the fees that are set for the engineering and everything else and whatever, they're set by DCA, not by the engineering firms. Just for record and everything else, the engineering firms do not set the fees. But with that being said, we're not, what happened in the past is fine and well, and we're glad you found the fall of 4 foot and everything else over there, but that's not what we're discussing. We're talking about the engineer and just taking and putting it out here, so.
My only thing is if we go with go to the new engineer right now, if we see that there's a problem later on, we won't keep hanging on until we get in trouble. We won't get back to somebody.
No, we're not, we're not obligated just because we're taking and putting them on there one time, we're not obligated.
Thank you for saying that. I have absolutely no marriage or attachment to any engineering firm. I do have a marriage and attachment to the people that put me here, and I'm gonna look after them as long as I'm here, and I think it's in the best interest of the city. Any further discussion? I call for the vote. You ready? We ought to do this by raising of hands?
I do it.
Aye. Fine.
Aye.
We'll do it voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The engineer for the coming CDBG will be Colonel Seed Engineering, and Ms. Sarah Davis with Alger and Alba will do our grant writing. And I hope that we are very successful. That's my intention. Okay. The intergovernmental agreement, Mr. Attorney, isn't that thing ready for us to sign?
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, you've had plenty of time to look at it. I told you I didn't like a thing or two about it, but nothing's perfect. There's some things in it that I don't like, but I do like the fact that the county and the city is working together on a project, and I'm right pleased with that. With that, I will say that I'm certainly in favor of it. Do I hear any further discussion about the intergovernmental agreement on the rec department out here?
I make the motion that we take and sign the intergovernmental agreement between the Jeff Davis County and City of Hazlehurst.
Okay, got a motion made and got a second already. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion's carried. Mr. Griffin, you had the assignment of trying to look after the street situation between First Baptist Church and the, well, you described it.
Okay, we've been approached, Mr. Hank Hobbs, about the traffic that's going down Coffee Street, the leg that runs from 341 down by the First Baptist Church and connects back over to Tallahassee Street. Y'all have a drawing over there in front of you. Okay, we do in fact own the street as a city and everything. We can opt to do what we will with it, and to take in, this is my proposal. If you look on these drawings here, if you'll see where the pink lines, I didn't have a red marker, excuse me, it was all pink, so
We said pink, we said red.
we said red, we got pink. We're close, all right. But where the pink markings are down toward the end of where 341 is, that is right after the entrance of the bank, of the Renaissance Bank. And what I'm proposing is we take and allow them to take on Sundays from 8 a.m. or 7:30. Let's say 7:30. I think the first service starts at 8. So we'll say from 7:30 a.m. on Sunday, and then down at the end where Tallahassee's at, the end of Coffee, where the other red mark is, they'll be allowed to barricade that off there, down here at the end, and then First Avenue here, they can barricade it off also on Sundays from 7:30 in the morning until 9 p.m. at night on Sundays, and then Wednesday afternoons, they'll be able to barricade it off from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
You might wait till a little earlier than 5, because the school children come and get off, some of them get off there a little earlier. I'd say about 4 o'clock.
We can say 4 o'clock, and that's fine, and whatever else. We can go 4 to 9 on Wednesday evenings. The First Baptist Church will be responsible for purchasing their own barricades. They will be responsible for putting them out and moving them at the end of their service and everything on on Sundays and Wednesdays and everything. But they'll have to take and purchase barricades and put them. They'll have to be the ones to put them out. And that's what my proposal is for this. I mean, I see no reason to close this street. It's not in the best interest of the city to close this street, I don't feel. But this is it's a workable situation. It will help them while they're there. And I mean, if they should have to take and block it off for a funeral or something of that nature, that's also fine. But I mean, that's on a case-by-case basis, and we can all work with that as such. But definitely from, say, 4:30 on, you said 4 o'clock or 4:30?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock on Wednesday evening to 9 p.m. Wednesday evening, and then from 7:30 Sunday morning to 9 p.m. Sunday night, they can put the barricades out when it's off.
Okay, council?
If they have to block the street off in a special thing, do they have to let us know ahead of time?
Yeah, they would have to let us know on
I
Sunday
mean,
special.
Say a funeral,
Yeah.
a funeral, for instance,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, in some big program.
Well, you're gonna have police help out there anyway during that time, and so our presence will be there, but they need to let us know when they are. Other than these assigned times that Mr. Griffin come up with, they need to notify the
Yeah.
chief and let the police department be involved.
Need to notify 911.
Pardon?
They need to notify 911. If they're gonna block off a street, they need to notify 911.
Okay.
Then what 911 will dispatch it out to all EMS, fire, police, and sheriff's departments. They'll let
Okay,
us know.
Mr. Griffin, why don't we modify that to notify 911 for any special occasion?
Okay, we can do it as
Okay.
such.
All right. All right, we've got one minor modification of what Mr. Griffin's worked on. Is there any other suggestions? Okay, I'm gonna entertain a motion that we accept Mr. Griffin's recommendation on traffic control around the new First Baptist Church that will assist them, as we've stated before. I don't think we had our reporter sitting here, but we all have said what a wonderful addition that is to our town, and we are certainly proud of it and want to make it as convenient for their parishioners and as safe as it can be for everybody there, because it is a big institution. There's going to be a lot of people involved. So we're definitely on their side. I want to make sure that that's understood. And if we need to do any additional things, I'm sure the council will do that if necessary.
Second.
Okay, you made the motion, haven't you, Eric, or did you?
I make the motion that we take and
Adopt that plan.
adopt the times that I put on yonder, and then, as Jeremy said, in any other cases, they'll contact 911.
Okay, is there a second to Mr. Griffin's motion? Seconded by Mr. Bloodworth. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it will be done, so we can notify Mr. Hobbs. He's the primary voice for them. And are you all involved in that anyway? Okay, all right. We'll notify Hank and in turn the church that we'll be working with them on traffic control as described. All right, I don't think we need to do anything with these roundabouts.
We're rolling. We've got what we needed, we present them, everybody's looked at them, and as long as we're moving forward, we're in good shape.
All right, everybody knows about that. Or do you, Madam Reporter, do you need any additional information? We've let the contract to design them, and we think, with a little preliminary study, we think we're going to be able to build both roundabouts, not just one, because with rough estimates, and I talked to the engineer and some contractors, we think we've got $250,000 grant, and we think with at least no more than $100,000 that we can construct both, and we can notify the retired educators that the design is such that it does not disrupt their monument at all. It stays sufficiently clear of it completely, and that they can quit worrying. But when the design gets here, I promise to send them a letter and let them look at it and to confirm it in actual documents. But right now, they've got it, and it doesn't disrupt anything that they've got out there. Okay, we'll move along.
Make a note, Marion, if you will, please, that the preliminary drawings are on display in the conference room here, if anyone wants to see them.
Okay.
They'll be up.
Okay, gentlemen, taking the water and sewer adjustments, the trash collection report, the check register, 9, 10, and 11, we've looked at it, passed it over in work session. I entertain a motion that we approve all three of these items.
Make a motion to approve all three items.
Mr. Bloodworth made the motion to approve these accounting procedures, you will say, and Mr. Johnson, I believe I heard him second.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote that we approve item 9, 10, and 11. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. For those of you that are guests here tonight, that was just when we, sometimes a leaking water meter runs way up, or in the wintertime a water pipe bursts and somebody's got a $1,000 water bill, we may go in and adjust it and help them, and that's just minor adjustments to that. And then the same thing with the second item, and then the check register. The check's already written when we approve them, so to speak, but it's just a list of things. Do you have the itinerary there? Oh, well, good, okay, got it. Okay, good. All right, as of the time that this was printed, I don't think we had everything from Ms. Tammy, did we? But now we've got a complete financial register according to what she's given me on the phone.
Yes,
And she's already emailed it to all members of the did you get yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you won't make any remarks about the financial statement that you just got or anything going on with the golf course?
Honestly,
By the way,
I
just for
seen the email,
information-
but I hadn't opened it.
Wait. For the benefit of those that may not know, the lady sitting back there in the back is on the board of directors or advisors out at the golf course. So if anything goes wrong, you can blame her.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that.
We got your back.
Thank y'all. I'm glad somebody's got my back.
All right, okay, we're down Citizens' comments, we have you folks, I don't know who you are, but welcome, we're glad to see somebody sitting out here. We'd like to have more visitors out here, knowing what the city's business is. But at any rate, we're glad that you're here. And used to, at sometime in the past, you had to come into City Hall and make arrangements if you want to come in and say anything. Now, if somebody walks in that door right now and sits down and says they want to make a comment, they can do it sitting here now. So we have a very open situation here. Anybody got, any citizens got anything to say?
Question, the roundabouts, are they gonna, I know that estimate, are they gonna put up signs and everything's included in that estimate, that roundabouts are coming up, we're gonna put a little flashing light, signs like we did with the four-way?
We're working, and this is, I'm glad you brought that up, officer. If this thing doesn't get to the point that we can put, the design is not complete, and all the council's satisfied, and we can put it out for bids, under the condition that it be built in June, July, and August, those be built, during while school's out, then it's gonna be postponed for a whole year. So we got to meet a deadline to go to work during this summer, or wait till next summer. We cannot do this, it's just too much to do during school session. And we think we can do that, so that's where we're shooting for. And then at that time, we will be detouring and everything else you can imagine during the summer. But we feel like, and the schools come to me, school superintendent and others, and school board, two school board members, and I concur that we just got to try to tackle it during school time. And according to, and I have talked to, I've talked to a contractor, and he says if it's all done right, they get to bid and notify them that they've got the ample workforce to be able to build both of them within the summer. If they can't see that they can't, they'll do one summer and one the next. But that's all I can tell you, that's all I know.
Is the four-way going to Charles Rogers and Pat Dixon first?
No, ma'am, we're not doing anything, we're fixed because of May is right here on our hand, March, April, May. So we're gonna see what's happened here first. If it's gonna be delayed, yes, we're gonna do 4 ways. Well, that's what everybody tells me. All right. Where are we now? Mayor, commissioners, anybody? Staff, officer, chief?
I would like to say that the community league brought me a pamphlet. They invited all the council, city to Ben Kaepernick on Sunday evening for a program for young people. Our goal is to keep these, encourage these children to get in school, stay in school, get in service. This month, they're going after them towards school and service. So they're bringing out a lot of retired Army, I won't say generals, but anyway, they got
Pretty high ranking fellas.
Yeah, gonna be there on Sunday afternoon, and they're asking everybody if they can come over about 3 o'clock. Also, I tell them that we're gonna feed you something.